Coming to you live from Superbowl 51, it's the 10-Point Podcast. And at this point, I've realised I've not written an intro for this episode.
Oh no, he's fucked it.
So my name is Bruce. I do have your intros, not my intro. And this is a 10-Point Podcast review of a film that we'd never even bloody heard of till it appeared on the wheel last week. So on the podcast with me this week, he's the original Mayflower girl, it's Chris.
I don't know what she does. Hi.
Speaking of song rhyme thing to say. And secondly, he's Guy Fieri. It's Andy.
I'll take that. I thought it was going to be the writing or watching fan fiction or something.
the writer of some Gronk fan fiction. We are the 10-Point Podcast. We review movies every single week here on YouTube, on Spotify, and your favourite podcast suppliers. Normally, I've got a very witty intro that I've written down from the film, but I think I stopped paying attention and didn't write anything down at the point that was good for an introduction.
You were too engrossed in it, that's it.
Maybe it was the I didn't know what was going to happen in the end of an American football game that happened 4 years ago. So yes, 10pointpodcast.com is where you will find us. All of our previous reviews are up there, whether it be our first season, which was audio only, and since then there's video versions of nearly every single episode we have done. Approaching 200 episodes worth of different movies we've done.
Are we?
Yeah, once we hit, well, I'm saying we're season 7 and we do 20 a year. So we're approaching 150 just normal episodes.
Oh.
We've done a couple of bonus reviews, plus all the news ones. So we're definitely approaching 200 different podcasts.
Why are we still not millionaires yet?
I don't know, exactly. People don't pay £1 million per episode.
Like, I've got better reviews than Joe Rogan or whatever the cunt's name is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know if he reviews films, but you probably so therefore you're probably right.
Exactly.
On to our review of the last week before we get on to the reason for being here this week. What was your highlight of the week? Now, we teased this last week, and all three of us have seen the main highlight. But Andy, why don't you lead us off with what the highlight of the week was?
Cocaine Bear. What a film. It's what the world needs right now.
Just batshit craziness. That's what
something different. It stands out amongst all other films that are around at the moment as being something different.
Like, if I go into a mini review, it's like one of the high points is just like, one, the title. Like,
it's like Snakes on a Plane.
Yeah,
like,
you know what you're going into. It's a bear on cocaine. That's the story, that's the plot, and that's the twist. All in one. It's like, you don't need to know anymore. You just want to see what happens.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'll tell you what, I wasn't disappointed. Oh. It's exactly how I imagined in my own head a bear on cocaine.
Yeah, I'd seen a couple of this, and I was going to stop watching the start of it, so I watched it all through with Nicola, and she was pissing herself laughing watching it.
It's brilliant.
It was like,
it's such
the
a happy
gunshot.
bear.
She wasn't expecting that at all.
Again, we don't want to go too much into a mini review of it, but for me personally, it's a very much a high point and low point kind of film, and all the high points are when the bear is doing mental stuff, like at the cinema, like making a noise and reacting and bursting out laughing, which doesn't happen. Like I don't go to too many comedies at the cinema anymore. So actually finding yourself not being able to contain laughter at something daft, whether it's a bear jumping in the back of an ambulance or a bear chasing up a tree and all this sort of stuff.
It's when the gunny comes out, I nearly broke a foot.
Yeah. I feel personally, I think out of the three of us, by the sounds of it, I would probably have rated it the lowest because I feel like I was underwhelmed by it. I went in thinking, this is like everything says this is bad, but therefore it's going to be quite good because why would it get made? And it was like, it's just kind of what I thought it was going to be, and not much else. They really needed. Personally, I thought they needed about 3 or 4 proper interesting people in the film around about the very interesting bear, and they just threw like a dozen characters in, and everyone got 5 minutes here and there, and all like the mother looking for the lost daughter, like that was a reasonably interesting storyline, but the whole kind of mafia side of it, the whole crime.
That's the true story bit.
Exactly. Well, it is and it isn't. The crime story part of it, I feel like, I don't know, there wasn't enough happening there. I never connected with any of the characters. And then you have Isaiah Whitlock Jr. coming in as a cop. He doesn't even say she to anybody.
Is that it? I thought that was
that's him.
Yeah.
I thought when it happened, he was going to say it there, but he never. It was disappointing.
I'll tell you what, I was actually like, my ultimate low point in that film is the fact is nobody really dies in the film. Like, there's like all the kind of main characters. You think, all right, they're going to get wiped out. They're going to get wiped out. They actually all live. Spoiler alert. It's like, oh, right. It's the ones that I like. The trailer is actually really well done. I'll give it that. Because you think in the trailer it is tearing through everybody. But
I'm thinking the three youths. I didn't like them at all, and they were just cannon fodder.
Oh,
and then,
I love the kids on the cocaine though.
Yeah, no, that was quite funny. yeah, and he was probably the best human being in it. Was the boy that she
he was actually really good.
He was really funny in it. But yeah, I also liked, because I didn't recognize him at first, was the ginger guy from Modern Family. Like I did not recognize him. I was, oh my god, it is him. I liked the way he played off the Ranger women. They were good as well. But yeah, half the rest of the cast I just no interest in. Really, I felt like Alden Ehrenreich.
Yeah, he's shite.
He got something to do. Like he was the one that wasn't being wacky. He was being a bit more. But they gave him a kind of convoluted sort of backstory.
It just
like,
reminded me of Beautiful Creatures.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. Like it didn't quite work what he was supposed to do. But I don't know. I will definitely turn it on. Like if it's on TV, I'll stick it on. See what's happening.
I read somewhere that apparently there's even more fucked up shit that Elizabeth Banks didn't put in the film. So I want to see that cut.
Well, that's the thing. Like the true story part of it, to my understanding, is yes, the guy fell out of the plane, as we see in the film, and there's cocaine everywhere. And then a period of time later, they found essentially a bear overdosed in the woods on cocaine, like filled with all of it, and the rest is just this tale that's spun out of it. So literally anything else could be in that extended cut, Chris. You're right; it could be absolutely anything.
It's a thumbs up. Thumbs up.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'd give it a thumb slightly up, but it may be one that I keep going back to and more enjoy the good bits, the higher and higher.
Oh, and bear cubs on cocaine.
Yeah, that was quite a good reveal that it was the Cubs that were in the cup. Right, so not necessarily my highlight of the week, but I went back to the movies again this week and saw a new film again. I saw 65, the Adam Driver meets dinosaurs.
I was in a shonky little town, and it was the only thing they were showing in the cinema, and I was like, do I go to an old school cinema and watch it? And then I thought, I'll read one review, and then I was like, no, we'll save our £12 and go away. So was I right?
It's an hour and a half, and that really helps it. I'll spoil minor plot points to tell you the enjoyment factor is basically Adam Driver is like a spaceship bus driver, as in he seems to just take people in a spaceship to other planets, and he crash lands on a planet, and everybody on the plane gets wiped out, or the ship gets wiped out, except for one little girl who doesn't speak English. So therefore, you've got 90 minutes where they're on this planet. There's no other people that can speak. It's all just dinosaurs and bugs and the two of them, and they don't have a common language. There's no dialogue in this film. They barely talk. Like half the film is her learning like the word family and the word run and all this sort of stuff. They barely talk. So an hour and a half and nobody talks. It kind of flies by because you're always just watching to see what happens next. And it's basically, it massive vibes of Prey, that they meet this kind of bug, they get rid of that. They meet this animal that's a bit bigger. They meet this animal that's a bit bigger. And then they meet this, like, it's just escalating the trouble. There's quicksand, which also was in Prey and all that. And it's like, I would say just watch Prey again rather than watch 65. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It is fine. It's just not the kind of film that gets made or comes out of cinemas anymore.
So not worth the 2-year delay on it then.
No, exactly. Yeah, that's the thing. It's taking so long to come out that I'm still not sure why Adam Driver wanted to be in it, because I feel like that's why it got made, was that he was in it. Like
loves the money.
He loves the money, but then who's looking at this film thinking, oh yeah, well, Sam Raimi was a producer on it. They're looking at it thinking, oh yeah, this
still gets paid for it, doesn't he?
Jurassic Park meets Predator sounds like a great idea, but you don't have the Predator in it. It's just a human. So it's like, yeah, it's fine. An hour and a half, stick it on for an hour and a half. It's okay, but I don't think I'll ever return to it again. But yeah, it's something different. I thought, I'll go see that, see how it looks. So that's my mid light of the week. I definitely would recommend Cocaine Bear. It's more of an event than 65 is. Chris, anything from you?
No, my highlight's Cocaine Bear.
Right, well, we'll gently touch on Mando then.
I say Mando.
Because Andy was very high on it when we mentioned it before the podcast. So Andy, what was so good about Mando?
It's back to having Grogu and Mando doing things, which I'm now 100%. I don't give a shit what the story is. I mean, I reckon I could watch half an hour to 30 minutes of just Grogu's little face.
Oh,
And
that broke my heart.
and then fucking Jar Jar Binks saving him. Have you seen that coming?
I recognized the name Ahmad Best.
Oh,
I know that name. And then as soon as it went on the internet, everyone's like, Jar Jar Binks saved Grogu. And I'm like, wait. So is the theory that they're giving the actor like a second?
They're basically because like let's face it, he played Jar Jar Binks exactly how George Lucas wanted to play Jar Jar Binks. But I feel like his livelihood is Comic Cons and nobody likes Jar Jar Binks. So now he can go and sign. He's a motherfucking Jedi, and he's probably one of the best dual wielding Jedis in Star Wars at the moment.
Because when I found out that it was Jar Jar Binks, and I was like, are we supposed? Well, obviously we would find this out, but then is it going to turn out that Grogu is clouded in his memory and actually it was Jar Jar Binks?
That could be good.
Because I wondered if that's what it was going to be.
Twist.
But
I like the idea of Jar Jar being a Sith Lord. I think playing all the things for like jokes and stuff, but don't turn him into Jar Jar.
But no, like I said, like they gave Ahmed Best let him like made him do right. Grogu's little face for 10-15 minutes, and then Mando had a little side quest. I'm all good with that.
You're talking about you love Grogu's little face. At this point, I'm dying for him to get a wee helmet. And that's when the armor started working on it.
Chantel was like, get a helmet. I was like, oh no. It's like, and you see the little, it's like, oh, and then it's pounding down. It's like, oh, maybe it is a little helmet. And then suddenly it's like, no, here's a big fucking chest plate, your bell end.
So do you think, have we got 3 episodes to go this season?
4, I think it is.
4 to go. Is Grogu going to speak before the end of the season?
This is the way. I'm telling you right now, the first words will be, this is the way.
I'll tell you what, that other guy's got the great saying. Was it like, don't speak unless you know, or something like that?
Yeah, there is something like that.
As he says. But yeah, that's definitely me now. I'm all for that.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I couldn't
Only
help
when you
laughing
know.
during the rescue.
Yeah.
That obviously it was his son. Spoiler alert for Mando. But he climbed the whole way up with this massive flamethrower gun on the back of it. It's so much easier if he just took that off, which I'm assuming it's built into his suit or whatever. But yeah, I thought it was returned to actual proper being the Mandalorian again. But I was like, it's fine, it's fun.
My only actual issue with this season of Mandalorian is, where's the bad guys? Like, there's like, I get that you could do a season where it's just all filler, but I kind of feel like you do need a bad guy, and Mandalorian's kind of shown me that there's got to be somebody.
Moff Gideon wasn't in a lot of the first season, though, was he?
No, he just turned up at the end.
Yeah, so they might literally do the same thing again, have him turn up at the end. So maybe.
Yeah. Grogu's face. Just that's all.
Bo-Katan leading them, and then it's going to be a big war for, I don't know, Mandalore or something like that. Get it back.
Something. You can tell that there is something bubbling under with Mandalorian. It's going somewhere, and it's going to.
I hope she rides the.
Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Like, Bo-Katan riding that. Fucking hell, that's money right there.
Are we gonna have her riding that, Mando with the Darksaber, and the two of them rule Mandalore? Not that I'm saying there's any sort of relationship.
And Grogu just doing flips with his little paint dart.
Yeah, boing boing. Yeah.
I thought he might just give it to Bo-Katan because she can wield it better than he can.
Oh, definitely she can. Yeah.
That's because she used to own it.
Yeah, so I think you might just go, here, it's yours. Take it.
Cool. Right, we better crack on. We've wasted quite.
Hey, we've got a podcast.
We've got an actual reason to talk this week. So, point number 1. What is the point? The point for the podcast this week: the 2023, never said that before, sports comedy drama 80 for Brady. Written by Sarah Haskins and Emily Halpern. They are the co-creators of the TV series Trophy Wife that I had never heard.
I thought you were going to say Grace and Frankie there.
No. And the two of them are the writers on the film Booksmart, that was very successful a few years ago, a kind of sort of coming of age comedy thing that won lots of awards and all that sort of stuff. But that's a big thing. It's not involved in Grace and Frankie at all. Directed by Kyle Marvin, was the director. He's the series director on the TV show All Wrong, which I'd never heard of, but he directed every episode.
I haven't heard of any of these things.
Exactly. And he is the writer and star of the film The Climb, which looks like a kind of cycling film. Which he made a short, and which he starred and wrote and all that, and then it got turned into a feature film that he starred in and wrote and all that as well. But yeah, this, in terms of being a director, just a TV show that was of any significance. Our stars for 80 for Brady. I've got all 4 of our main quartet here, and in lots of detail. Starring as Lou, Lily Tomlin, most famous for being in Nashville, the 1975 film. 9 to 5, the film from I think the 80s.
This is
Film.
struggling here.
All of Me, the Beverly Hillbillies when it was turned into a
That's
film.
the one,
in
Beverly
1993.
Hillbillies.
The Magic School Bus cartoon. She
What?
voiced. She voiced in every single episode of the Magic School Bus cartoon. She was in. The film I Heart Huckabees. She was in a series or two of The West Wing. The film Grandma. She was Aunt May in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Was she?
And presumably, if Aunt May's still alive in that universe, in the new Spider-Verse film that's about to come out. And then Grace and Frankie. I don't know which one she is. I haven't watched enough of it, but she's either Grace or Frankie.
Can't remember.
There we go.
I watched the whole series, 7 seasons of that. Chantal
You
loves
watched
it.
the whole thing, have you?
It's banging.
Fair
Old women on fucking drugs.
enough. Some more of that coming up.
I don't know. It's an old woman on drugs, and one of them's a toilet seat inventor that reclines you out of the toilet. I'm all for that. It's for
yeah.
help old folks out of the toilet. But I've sat in the toilet for a length of time where I could do with a little help me up.
Feeling it up. Okay, co-starring or also starring as Trish, Jane Fonda. Probably most famous for being Barbarella and then winning an Oscar in the film Klute. She was in the film Coming Home, was also in 9 to 5, the film On Golden Pond. Probably equally as famous for doing 25 exercise videos in basically the 80s. She was like when VHS machines became a staple in the homes, she brought out home exercise, do your, not yoga, but your like, I don't know, aerobics in your living room. She brought out 22 videos doing that. She then retired from acting and was inactive between 1990 and 2005. She didn't act in anything at all in that whole time. Then she came back with basically the film Monster-in-Law, where I think she played one of your rom-com queen's mother-in-law in that one. She was in The Newsroom, the film Youth, and then it was also in Grace and Frankie as, presumably, Frankie, if Andy has told me that the other one was.
I think so. Chantal was shouting down and going, no, it's the wrong way around.
Right, okay. So there are our main two. The rest of the quartet is as follows. As Mora, we have Rita Moreno, who I'd never heard of until I'd seen this. But listen to what Rita Moreno has been in. Singing in the Rain, heard of that. The King and I, the big film. West Side Story, she won an Oscar for the original, and she's also in the remake that was a couple of years ago. She was in 780 episodes of The Electric Company, which is a TV show. It's an educational television show for like children in the 1970s. That Morgan Freeman was also in 780 episodes.
You need to watch this show.
I know. She was in the TV version of 9 to 5, so not the same one as the other two. They were in a film. She was in the TV version of 9 to 5. And this beats the Magic School Bus. Rita Moreno was Carmen Sandiego in Where on Earth is Carmen Sandiego, and then voiced another character when Carmen Sandiego was like rebooted about 5 years ago. And then maybe most recently famous, she was in the TV series Oz in the 80s into the 2000s. She was in that. So that's who Rita Moreno was. She's in a whole bunch of stuff without me even realizing. And finally, as Betty, Sally Field, probably the most recognizable to me out of the four. Smokey and the Bandit, Steel Magnolias, Norma Ray, Places in the Heart, Mrs. Doubtfire, that's kind of where I come in with the Sally Field, Mrs. Doubtfire, Forrest Gump, and then, coincidentally, she plays Aunt May in The Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, the Andrew Garfield ones, and then she was in Lincoln most recently in terms of her high-profile films. We didn't feature her in Forrest Gump, so I thought I'd run through those. They are our main 4 stars. All 4 of them are in nearly every single scene in the film, one way or another. The film, 80 for Brady, made on a budget of $28 million. I wonder how much of that went to NFL licensing. The US opening weekend, which was not that long ago, $12.5 million did opening weekend. Final US gross, because I believe it has finished its theatrical run over there, $39 million. So it has turned a profit, this film, in America. Worldwide, we don't know yet, because it is not released worldwide yet. So it's still rocking around the 38 million. So definitely in the profits was this. Released the week of the Super Bowl in America. It releases this week in the UK is when it comes out. It is in cinemas right now because it has come out the week that we are covering it. All of this means it basically qualifies for the award season that hasn't happened yet. So it has won 2 awards, but they're like weird sort of location finding people awards. Like you were nominated for the best California location finders of the year. So instead I found out there's this stat tidbit on awards. The 4 female lead characters or actresses have 12 Oscar nominations between them, including 5 Oscar wins, whether it be for Best or Supporting Actress. It lays out like this. I've forgotten her name. Lily Tomlin.
The biggest one, isn't she?
Lily Tomlin had 1 nomination, which was way back in 1975, and she did not win for Nashville that year. Jane Fonda is the big one. She has 7 Best Actresses, Best or Supporting Actress nominations, and she won twice, 2 awards. What's her name? Rita Moreno, nominated for West Side Story way back when, and won, and that was her only Oscar nomination. She's Best Supporting Actress, she was in that. And Chris says Sally Field, 3 nominations and 2 wins. That's quite a good strike record as well. So yeah, there's 5 wins from 12 Oscar nominations, basically from 1975 to about, I don't know, 20 years ago was the range of their Oscars. So I can skip all the rest of the awards because it's not been nominated to any of them because they're not happened yet. I feel it might struggle at the Saturn Awards. Synopsis: 80 for Brady, written by either Fans TP or Fan STP. It's just a bunch of letters written down essentially, and it's not the longest. As the New England Patriots reach Super Bowl LI, that's 51, in Houston, 4 female fans become determined to attend the game and meet quarterback Tom Brady, which proves a more memorable experience than they expected after the Patriots fall behind by 4 touchdowns. It's like the last 20 minutes.
What is more interesting in the game? You're actually looking at the actual film.
Yeah. Who picked the film? It was our wheel of new movies that we have this season, and that means that none of us have seen it before because it's absolutely brand new. Which channel will we find this on?
I can see this being a film for.
I don't even think it's going to make it to that.
I reckon it is made by Paramount. It is going no further than Paramount.
I reckon so. It's never going to get a terrestrial release.
It might be on TV
well, eventually.
in the sort of New England area. Maybe it might be on TV there. They might like it, but other than that. And which version? Well, there only is one version at this point. I don't imagine there's a great extended director's cut of this coming out at any point either. On to point 2, the high points. What we thought the best bits and things were of 80 for Brady. Let's start off with someone else. Chris, you look like you're chomping at the bit to give the high point.
Well, it's not really a high point. It's like just a point. I love how serious people, like especially Americans in movies, take their superstitions when it comes to sports. I like.
It confused the shit out of me when she did it because I kind of missed the first time she did it, and I was like, "What?" And then she like obviously does it again. It's like, "Oh, right, she's got to be on the ladder, and they got to flip the chips." It really confused me.
But they linked it to we won like a regular season game like 2 months ago doing this. So they done that every single Sunday since. And why that one particular game? Like the Patriots win the Super Bowl a lot. Like if they're Tom Brady fans, they've won like 4 Super Bowls prior to this. Why is this one superstition now come in? It's
See,
so weird.
I thought that's what they did every single game. I thought maybe they just started being fans like 2 months ago. But when she said it was like 16 years ago or something, I was like you said, why have they just started it now?
Yeah, after all the success they've had, not
like,
doing that every season.
He's sucking. Let's just help him a little bit in here with this superstition.
Andy, any early high points from you?
Mine's is kind of like, obviously, I kind of got the Grace and Frankie-ness of it, but if you take that out of it, it's how well they kind of introduce old people can have fun aspect.
It's one of the major driving forces of this. It seems to be one of the main purposes of the film.
Yeah, and like Grace and Frankie is them too, but it's like straight away, it's kind of like that scene that Chris talking. They get it together. They've been doing this for years, and they want to kind of swoon over this young Tom Brady.
I didn't think it was going to be. I didn't think they were going to objectify him quite as much as that. I thought there was going to be some real connection that they had to Tom Brady, but it turns out
they wanted to bang him.
It's like, and also, I mean, some people are maybe better, more perceptive than me, but how can they tell this guy with an American football helmet? Like, love at first sight. Look at him, he's handsome. Oh, yes, all 4. Oh, he is really handsome. He's got an American football helmet on. How can you see what he looks like?
Do you know what? This is going to come up later on, but I generally didn't think he was going to be in the film. I thought it was just going to be stock footage and just pictures of him in the TV and stuff. I wasn't expecting him to actually
act in the film.
Like in when he's talking to her. I was expecting him
I thought he would be in it, and then I had heard he was going to be in it. But when the opening credits roll and he's a producer, I was like, oh, he's going to be in it now. Like that would have been the giveaway. There were some other people I didn't expect to be in it, which we'll get on to. But yeah, Tom Brady actually being in it was funny.
This is a film for you. It's like, oh, that's an NFL player, because I actually did struggle with that. I was like, is he?
I recognise one because of Murderville.
Yeah,
Yes.
Marshawn
Sean
Lynch.
Lynch.
The only one that really made me laugh, not in terms of who was in the film, but who wasn't, when they burst into the booth and she speaks to Tom Brady on the kind of phone thing. It's basically a lookalike. The guy plays the role of the person who'd be in charge of that room. Looks like the person that would be there, but isn't the person. Like, it's not the
I knew
real
you'd be
guy
full of
himself.
this.
It's like a lookalike guy. It's like with a big beard like the guy has as well, which is quite funny. One of my early high points, which it happened twice in the film, might be more, but it plays kind of into the old people having a laugh as well. The running gag where one of the four ladies is doing something, and the other one goes up, no, stop that, and then I'll do it, and it just does exactly what they were doing as well for it not to change. So at one point they were trying to get the TV to work, and the one pointing to the remote, it's like, stop doing that, no, give it here, and then she just takes it and does it as well. It's not working, and then something happened where they were trying to liven something, like someone was on the sofa, they're trying to wake them up or something like that, and they were like, oh, stop that, and then they went over and did the exact same thing as well.
That's one of my high points is busting Maura out of the old folks home because she's fallen asleep. I didn't see her take the pill. I thought she died.
I genuinely thought, I was like, oh, right, this is how this story goes. She's dead, and they're still going to go to the Super Bowl because it's kind of what they would all wanted to do.
Weekend at Brady's, is that what it
Yeah. that would be.
Yeah, get her cheer. Hey!
But yeah, I honestly thought that was going to be the sad point of this film, was, oh, she died, because you think it's somebody else going to die. But it's like, she's died, but no, she just took too many sleeping tablets. And then just her waking up in the car as well.
Yeah.
I can imagine Chris wakes up like that quite often.
I more than once just had a random conversation. I woke up and said, "Why did you say that?" And Nicholas was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" I go like with dreaming.
I don't have another high point until we're at the NFL experience.
That's pretty much Guy Fieri is my one.
I've got two words as my high point. Strap on.
Strap on was a good bit.
Yeah. So mine was the chicken wing eating competition, because I was just like, I was right when time watching this, I was like, I've just eaten my snacks. I could do with another snack. And I was just like, and then she's like hungry and she wants some barbecue food. And then Chantel's like, I could do some barbecue food, but we're just eating dinner. So I was like, barbecue food. And then she just goes in this chicken wing eating competition randomly, and old people don't have any taste buds left and just destroyed them.
That was funny.
I loved it.
I can't do it when you've got to pour the sauce on because they taste horrible. I don't mind if it's like marinated, if you know what I mean.
My problem is like chicken wing. Like, I've always wanted to do a chicken wing eating competition, but I can't eat enough of it because like I don't like going right down to the bony bits and shit.
Right.
There's a tricky twist and pull, and the bones come out.
I know, but yeah, these professional eaters, it's like, I can eat the spice, but I like, you got to get all the right. No, I don't like the gristly bits.
Guy Fieri's actually a bit of a star in this film. Like,
yeah, I mean, I watch quite a lot of his stuff on Discovery Channel, like all his cooking shows and all that, but he plays himself pretty well.
I've seen very little of him, and yeah, he's got a certain charisma that basically nobody else has in the film. He steals every scene he's in.
Yeah.
I've got something for much later on I'm going to mention about Guy Fieri, but carry on, Chris.
Well, I was going to say, like, the toilet, was he wanting some guy? Was he like, I thought you were somebody else?
Actually, no, because it seems like he was, and the guy then came out the toilet next to him, so I don't know if it was a glory hole in that portal or what was going on.
That's what went through my head. He's like, I thought you were somebody else.
Yeah.
That's literally what I was referring to. I had it as a high point, but I removed it and I put it as best line. I think it doesn't quite work though. But yeah, Guy Fieri comes out of a portaloo to Betty shouting to Guy something about a strap on, and he comes out and he goes, "Oh, it's you. I was expecting someone else." So it's like, yeah, what was he? Yeah.
I also put it as a high point because it was all over the shop, but it's like how they say his last name.
Fieri or
Fieri, and it's just like every single one of them say it differently. It's actually quite funny. I don't think it's meant to be funny, but I find it funny.
Also, that entire NFL experience, I would love to do something like that. The amount of like fun. My only time it's going to come up to the next bit is there's no way that what's she called, Lou, would outthrow that guy.
Well, that's one of my high points is the football throwing contest.
Well, because it's genius. Because like Tom Brady said, it doesn't matter how it's like as long as it gets there. And she's just doing underhands, but then the other guy's fucking going.
The other guy's
going for the high points, and she's just going for like the 1 pointer.
Surely, if you've missed that twice, you'd be like, "All right, I'll go for the fucking closer one."
No, because he's a cocky motherfucker. He used to go for the short yardage.
What what Lou had was the secret weapon, which was straight out of basketball. She had Mura doing psyching behind him, and that was the difference maker. If she hadn't been psyching him out, there's no way he'd have been as bad. So her basketball by accident reference got a high point from me.
I also don't know, like why, like the fan experience where she was seemed to be very much the New England Patriots fan experience bit. But there was a bunch of like other guys there, and obviously that's why they started stripping all the guys and giving them New England Patriot shirts. Why was there so many of them in like which seemed to be like the New England Patriot zone part of it?
I guess it must have been an accident. I think the whole thing would be for everybody. I guess.
Yeah.
But it just might have been because it's the day of the game. There's a lot of Patriots fans there, and maybe there'd be more Patriots fans than Falcons fans. Maybe, I don't know.
It just seemed like it was super branded up. It's like, all right, you're stealing everybody's jersey and giving them like Patriot jerseys.
Yeah, of course it's going to be branded up.
Well, yeah, I know, but it was a bit weird.
I do wonder if he filmed his scenes for this when he was with the Patriots or if he had left. Because
yeah, he'd already left, hasn't he?
He'd already left. Yeah.
It's very Patriots heavy. No, but because obviously at the end of the film he plays for the other team now. But it's like, yeah, but it must be weird for him to go back and dress up like he's on the Patriots again when he's actually playing for Tampa Bay or something like that. Kind of strange. I'll continue a mixture of the two previous high points. I enjoyed the drugged up Guy Fieri poker game.
Yes.
When
the entire party is quite a high point for me.
And everyone's Malkovich-ing.
Yep.
She walks in on her gummy bears. And yeah, the whole game's funny. Like, I wish there was 2 more cameos at the poker table. Would have been a wee bit, because obviously most people are playing a character, and then you just have Patton Oswalt, who's maybe playing himself. I'm not even sure.
It did seem that way. Like they were all there and they're all doing charity stuff. But yeah, but then I like the one thing I liked him in it, but I didn't get was it Grogu? Not Grogu.
Gugu, I think it was.
Gugu,
because it wasn't Guy. Gugu, yeah, Gugu.
Like he is not on my radar at all. So I'm sorry if he is somebody super famous. I liked what he did in the film, but I know he's meant to be somebody famous in a cameo, but I didn't get it at all because I have no idea who he is.
I saw somebody praising, oh, it's great, this and that and another, and Billy Porter's funny in it, and I'm like, I've never heard of Billy Porter. And then I watched the film, and like, I still don't know who Billy Porter is. I've got another accidental thing like that, which I'll come to very shortly. But the last thing for the poker game, I did like the reveal. Well, after she wins at the reveal, it is for charity, was quite a good kind of punchline to the whole thing. She schooled everybody, and then they still have to give up the money, especially the consequences later on that we find out. So yeah, in terms of finding out a kind of a cameo or a small bit part, I really enjoyed Chip, the security guard.
He was amazing.
Was actually being a security guard, which is always gets thumbs up for me. But he was really entertaining and really funny. And when he's trying to stop her, she's coming to me. I'm not touching her. I'm not touching her. She's coming to me and all that. I turned out that's Ron Funches, who is a comedian who I've seen the name written down.
He's brilliant. I love him
a million times, but I don't know. I've never heard of him. Never seen him in anything before.
I just love the scene where he's like looking in the thing and it's like they're all celebrating and like they're on the Titantron.
Out of my time.
It's just like straight. It's like if I was that security guard, it's exactly what I'm doing. 100%. I'm just like, I'm going to go fucking chuck them out.
Yeah. And it was quite funny at the end. Where obviously, clearly, Brady had been like, go find these people. And then he has to march them down. And it's like, in the store here. But yeah, Ron Funches kind of stole, him and Guy Fieri stole the show from me.
Yeah.
So I've only got...
I was going to say, like, that game is like my high point. Because I remember, this is probably the last game I actually watched. I say watched because I watched it when the Falcons were absolutely dominating and fell asleep. And I woke up to see the Patriots won it. I was like, fuck, what a game.
That's an all-time comeback.
I know. Probably one of the best games ever.
Yeah, it's got a lasting legacy where it is, whenever Atlanta football are doing anything, it's always like, when you blow a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl, it's always something gets chucked at them. Yet the use of NFL films in this is really good. So every single NFL game at this point in the real world has the NFL Films camera crew, which is not just the TV broadcast, it's the proper stylish and proper film cameras, load out of the pitch and all that. The actual being able to use that in a film really helps. Like, now you don't have to fake an NFL game in any film ever again. You just go to the NFL and say, please, Mr. NFL man, can we have the footage of this, that, or the other game so we can pretend our people are involved in the match? Because that works really, really well. It didn't look... It spliced in really well with like Brady being there in real life and then Brady being there in acting life as well was really well kind of cross-cut with that. So that was the high point for me, was the game fitting in naturally into the film. I've only got one more high point. I don't know if you guys have got any.
This is just our speech, the motivational speech.
Speech, okay.
It got me going. If I was Brady, I'd be like, fucking hell, I am winning this now.
I could run through a brick wall now.
Yeah.
That was a good speech. Like, it got me. I wouldn't say it got me, but like seeing Brady just like, shit, yeah. Like probably thinking back to that game, it's like, God, I wish I had this. It's like this would have absolutely dominated them then.
Yeah,
We
would
could
have
have
won
done
by
this
more.
fucking earlier.
I know.
So my final high point is the post-game locker room scene was quite funny because we then get, is it Danny Amendola that was there at that point? I think whoever the player, they all have a chat. Gronk rocks up, and I was like, I absolutely knew Gronk was going to be this. Like, he was going to be most unexpected, but it's more like most expected. It's like,
Yeah.
absolutely Gronk is going to be in this film, especially when her fan fiction was about Gronk. I was like, yep, Gronk is coming in. And then I thought Tom Brady was all right. He had maybe one iffy line, but his proper acting scene, talking lines, the one that's behind Chris and his background there, I thought Tom Brady was okay when he was actually doing some acting.
See, my favourite Tom Brady acting scene is Ted 2, where he's got to steal his semen.
Right, yeah. I haven't seen Ted 2 yet.
Oh, you've not seen it?
Yeah.
There's a whole
Spice melange.
Popped up in his, what films he'd been in when I was researching it.
you gotta watch it. Yeah,
Okay.
there's a whole scene where they've got to try and steal Tom Brady's semen.
His essence.
But yeah, I thought he was fine. It was a good little ending to the film with the locker room scene. I thought,
Yeah.
neat bow
I'll tell you,
on the story.
I've just got one more high point, which might come up in best costume. I want the Patriots Buccaneers outfit they had at the end. That was amazing.
No,
I bet they were very popular that first season after they left the Patriots.
Yeah, I quite liked it.
it's going to come up later on, but half and half shirts are the absolute worst.
Don't get me started on half and half scarves at football games. I don't understand. But yeah, you support one team. You can't have both teams. Okay, on to point 3. Point 3 is the low points. What was like the worst bits and things were about the film? I don't have anything super duper early, so if you've got anything you want to lead on,
Mine is the first time you see Jane Fonda.
Yeah,
Fair. Go ahead.
literally, this is a running theme. Her face is so tight.
Aye. Now, in Grace and Frankie, she looks all right. Like, she still looks like amazing for like 85-year-old or whatever. In this film, it's a bit creepy. Like, especially that picture behind you, Bruce. If you just move slightly to the cameras, it doesn't add up to the rest of their faces. Like,
yeah, because Sally Field is the only actress who's under 80. All three are all they play pretty much their actual age in the film.
Yeah, Jane Fonda, no, there's too much makeup, there's too much plastic there. No.
She's gone full Madonna.
Yeah, it's a bit too. It's over the top in this.
That's harsh. But they do mention, like, she mentions it in the film.
I do like that. Yeah, she spent a lot of money on it.
Yeah,
but it's just a bit creepy.
It's a bit weird. I didn't know that she wore wigs as well. That was a reveal.
Oh yeah, that blew my mind.
Her whole house was full of wigs, and she got really, really short hair. I had no idea.
They did it well as well because they had her blonde, and then they had the flashback where it's dark, and I was like, oh, that kind of works out. And then I went over, it's grey and short. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But I thought it didn't take like.
I don't know. I took it away from me. It's like, you know, it's one of these things where it's like we don't review a lot of old people in this film, but having 4 old women in this film, it's like, yeah, okay, I'm with it. They've got a good story, and they're all kind of playing their age, but she doesn't look her age.
Yeah.
And
and doesn't play it really either.
Yeah.
You think of what her storyline was in the film.
Yeah.
Play her
Yeah,
age.
just banging everybody. Surely it's all dry down there. Just powder.
My next low point. I was really offended, not at that, but I was really offended by the manager at the retirement home. And
oh yeah,
like, either Maura is like going on a trip that she's like planned to go on, and he's like, nope, she's asleep. She cannot go on this trip that she's planned to go.
It seems like a bit like a prison, doesn't it?
Or she's not allowed to go on a trip. Yeah. What was the question, Chris? Sorry?
She's not there like voluntarily. She doesn't have to stay there.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, yeah, either he was like, no, she's asleep. She can't go on this very expensive trip that she's planning to go on. Or, nope, the rules are she can't go anywhere. She must not leave this
you're in.
building with anyone.
See, I've got a simple rule for this, right? And it's basically, right, strap yourself in, guys. I reckon if you go to a retirement home voluntarily, that's fine. However, if you shit yourself twice in a week, I feel like your rights are gone because you can't really control yourself.
That's fair, I would say. Like,
that's my level.
Management thing on this. Like, is someone got like a chart? It's like,
yeah, if you've shit yourself 7 days, like within like twice in 7 days, that's it. You basically lost all rights. It's kind of like, like
Doesn't matter how old you are, whether you're 30 or in your 80s.
Yeah,
you
it's
say
just-
yourself twice, that's it. You're home.
Yeah, pretty much. You're in a home. You've got to be looked after. You've got to be cared after because you can't control your own bowels. It's the one thing I keep sacred to myself, and I'll hold myself to that. If I shit myself twice in 1 week, I'll be like, right, Chantel, I think now's the time to go to home.
Stick me in the wheelbarrow, take me down to the retirement home.
Or take me around the back of the shed and shoot me. Cause...
Yeah, take me back. Yeah.
There you go. Just
Fair
a simple rule that I have for retirement homes. That's when I want to go.
Right, I'm at full on. Betty has lost the strap on now, is where I am.
I was going to say, like, as soon as they labelled her as the most trustworthy, I was like, yep, she's losing the tickets.
She has it on, has a strap on safely, goes to the wing eating contest, takes it off. A half a day and a full costume change later. She's like, I don't have my bum bag on anymore. It's like, of course
Fanny
not.
pack.
You're wearing a suit now. You were wearing like jeans. Like, did you not realize when you go back to your hotel room? And at some point, surely one of the others would have been like, oh yeah, you don't have your bag that has all of our tickets to the reason we're here. It took them so long to realize. Actually, I basically missed it at first, and I was like, but they briefly mentioned it, and then obviously Maura then starts freaking out because she's taking the gummy bears. Then we go on with the rest of the evening, and it gets to the end of the party, and they're like, "Oh, we don't have any tickets. What are we gonna do?" And I'm like, "Wait, what? Like, when was that established? I had to wind back 20 minutes to find the one line at the bag."
So, like at the gate, like at the contest, Lou and Maura are there, and they see her take it off and sit it down. They're like, "I'll just keep a hold of that until you're finished."
Yeah.
They're too busy making the wings good. We've got to cheer them on.
Really, I was.
I'll tell you what. I've just realised I forgot another high point. The podcast guys, I like them.
Oh yeah.
The original competition, but it did come up with a genius idea for the next Super Bowl. I feel like we should put it on mute, and then we do a YouTube live alternative commentary on the podcast of the
2
Super Bowl.
minutes later.
Yeah, Chris falls asleep.
Chris is gone. I'm making up random player names.
Everyone has a nickname that they've done in the first 10
Steve
minutes.
passed to Steve, and John's got them all, and Steve's off.
You don't have to commentate on it necessarily. But,
No, that's what I want to do. I want to be like that.
Well, it's certainly an idea we could definitely
do anyone like the.
And it has now completely dawned on me that I did not recast us as those podcast guys, which is absolutely who would be.
Oh my god! Yeah, I never thought that either.
My next low point. I'm being very kind of, I don't know. It's the little details that were annoying me in this film. The guy's scalping tickets for 10 grand a pop.
I thought that was a bit pricey, to be fair.
I've decided I'm going to the Super Bowl. It's the day of the game. I live in Houston. I'm going to the game. I'd better get 10 grand in cash to take with me to give to a guy on the street who's got tickets. It's like, that guy, there's no way. Has he got a safe next to him? Like,
he's got a card machine, hasn't he?
Oh, we're just got this credit card payment.
It's like them hobos you see in the street. It's like, got any spare change, pal? No, sorry. Only got cards. And they just pull out a fucking card machine on their phone. It's like, oh, right. You're one of these bell ends.
But yeah, I really, like, 10 grand's hella shit. Probably not too far off what the actual price is, but what's he, like, doing with the money? And how many folk are wandering around without burning a hole in their pocket?
Unless he got if he's selling them.
Yeah, exactly.
He sold them to that guy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What for?
Yeah. That scene went on too long of her trying to bargain as well, because it was like,
well,
okay,
I quite like that actually.
I did like her bargaining.
But then it's like 200, and it's like no. They just kept going 50 quid a time. It's like he's not going to take it, and she never got to anything like a high enough number. Let's get on with the movie at this point.
Yeah.
Any other low points? I've got a few more.
My final one is that unnecessary dance number to get them into the game.
I've just got the dance to get into the stadium.
Cringy.
Is very much a low point.
To be fair, I've got no rhythm, so I can't spot their dancing. But I have to get busted.
I'm okay with dancing if they didn't have everybody afterwards. Like the security guard, that was amazing, and the fan going, that was really good. If they just took that bit out, I'd be okay with it.
I don't know if I'm more annoyed that he was like, I know you want dancers, on you go, or if I would have been more annoyed if he was like, oh well, okay, that's proved it, on you go. Like, I don't know if it's worse that he didn't fall for it, or if it would have been worse if he had fallen for it. It's like both ways are wrong. This guy was terrible at his job. Like, just you got
that's
one
how you
job.
get to Super Bowls. I just walk in and be like, do. Awesome, and you go.
I'll tell you how you get into any venue, right? I've done a lot of venues in my time. Just wear a high-vis jacket and walk in with confidence. Nobody
You're
stops you.
supposed to be there. Yeah, exactly.
I saw that. Some guy did a Champions League final. Just walked in as a press guy, watched the entire game.
Yeah.
But genuinely, they don't give a shit. The security are not paid enough to stop you.
Apart from
See,
Chip.
Yeah, except from Chip.
yeah, Chip. Yeah, he was. Yeah, Chip. Need more of like 1,000 chips around the stadium. That would have done. Low point for me was the whole lie about having won the contest.
Yeah. I didn't like that bit of the story.
No.
Like, I know it's meant to have a down, but it was never down enough for me. Like, all right, you've got tests, but we don't know what it is because you weren't thinking yet. We're all presuming the worst. I feel like it would have been a payoff if it was the end, if she like wasn't at when Brady went to the Buccaneers. If she just wasn't there.
She actually had died. Right,
Yeah, I'll be like, all right, okay, fair enough. That was a bit sad then. She got what she
guess,
wanted.
That might have been a bit
Yeah.
more powerful, yeah. But yeah, if they just won the contest, it would have been fine.
Yep.
Like, we've won the contest. Oh, we've lost the tickets. Oh, I need to get into this game. Why? Oh, I need to get into this game because blah 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 blah. Not
Mhm.
oh, we can't get in. Oh, tickets are fake. Well, we need to find a way in because like I hate when people just make up a lie to make a story out of it. Like it's so many sitcom episodes are built on the whole episode is built on somebody lies to somebody and then they get 30 minutes television out of it and then they undo the lie at the end. It's like, well, the whole thing just would have been like, it's annoying. I've one more low point before I rant anymore about that. If anybody else got any others?
I don't think so.
4 old ladies who don't have a ticket to the game get into the New England offensive coordinator booth. Like, Chip was really good. The other guy was really bad. Just non-existent security for the rest of the stadium. Just like, we'll walk out of this booth that we're not meant to be in, that we don't have a ticket to get back into. We'll wander somehow without signposts. I doubt it says this way to where the New England coaches are to the booth to just
Just a
storm
big
right
loop,
in.
isn't it?
Yeah, so like the point is the other side. You'd be roughly able to work out. It's like, I've worked out
Right,
far
okay.
enough. I'm going in.
Even if they can, I've been in enough stadiums where like it's yes. Once you get back, staircases go everywhere, and then the guys are like, "What are you doing in here?" And they don't just get them kicked out. Like, "Oh, you're 4 old ladies. Well, we can't kick you out." Yes,
They're
you
down. They're desperate.
Yeah, well, they were. Yeah, but yeah, that just annoyed me. It's like, that would happen. It wouldn't happen like that. Yeah, totally sweet. Let's ask for a low point.
Yes.
Lost my voice.
Rage.
On to point 4.
Stop thanking Bruce.
The stats. Not a high strike rate for the stats. There were 3 shits. All came pretty quick fire, all near the end of the film, as if they'd saved them up. And one gigantic F-bomb by Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Like, it must
That's
have
a
been,
high point.
I will produce and fund this film if I can say the F word in it. It must have been the. So him, no explosions. Surprisingly, kind of no deaths. I didn't think there was going to be any deaths, but a whole bunch of old ladies and none of them died. No cows, no goats, unless you count Tom Brady.
He's a goat.
He is the goat. So maybe he's the goat in the film.
Chris is like, nice.
No dead animals at all, and no paedophiles, because everybody was very old in the film. There were no children in the film, really, were there?
Jane Fonda, she could be.
Could be, maybe. Oh no, actually,
wants a
Sally
piece of
Field
her.
was the guy that was trying to kiss her on the.
Oh
bench.
yeah, she was, wasn't she? At least Jane Fonda was going for slightly older guys, but yeah. Jane Fonda was.
The Tackleberry Tom Cruise trifecta. Minimal running by our characters. Lots of NFL players running. And Mickey gets the girl at the end, the fella from the old folks' home, but very little crossover and no motorbikes again. The motorbike is key. Motorbike is key for the Tom Cruise trifecta. One other bonus stat, or 2 other bonus stats. One, it mostly takes place on the 4th and 5th of February 2017 is when the film happens, mostly. And do they say the thing, 80 for Brady?
On the back of their shirts, too.
Yeah, they don't say it though.
It is never said, but it is in the film a bunch. And Sally Field's even stroked out, says 70 for Brady. However, do they say the thing Brady? I counted how often someone said Brady.
Yes.
24 times I counted.
Did you count? You counted way more than me because I only got to 13.
Do you count Tom Brady or do you count Brady?
Well, most of the time they just say Tom. Very rarely do they say
Yeah.
Brady. It was always Tom.
I
Tom,
counted
Tom.
like all the announcers as well said, "Oh, great pass from Brady and stuff." So I counted 24.
I must have missed a bunch during the game or something. And I thought I'd counted all of them. I was like surprised how little his name was actually said. Throughout. There you go, 24. As Chris says. Chris, any stats from you?
Yeah, there was like the girls have 5 superstitions. Like obviously they've got the one at the very start with all the chips and all that. I don't know. I counted that as 1.
That's 4. Well, was it like one had to flip the chips? One was up a ladder. One was in the dining room, and then the other one just sat on the sofa and she'd mind her own
Sipping
business.
tea or
Oh,
something.
not
yeah.
drinking, sipping.
Not
that's what it
drinking,
was.
yeah, sipping.
Yeah, that was.
And then after that, they've got the horn thing, something like that, when they're getting close to a third and down or something like that. Then at the end of the game, they go Tom Brady, and then
Yeah.
what's the other one? They hold each other's hands, holds breath, something else for I think a touchdown pass or a kick or something.
Right.
So I counted 5 different superstitions.
There we go. No nut shots or Wilhelms in this one
I
either.
didn't see any nut shots.
No, me neither. Andy, do you have a fun fact about 80 for Brady?
So the only fun fact I've got for this film is when Tom Brady goes to swap his shirt, that actually happened because some Mexicans stole it.
Not really simplified it, but yeah, that Super Bowl winning shirt went missing,
Yes.
as well as his previous Super Bowl winning shirt went missing, and they were both found. Was it like a Mexican news editor
Yes.
or something like that in his house?
Yes.
In like a raid by some sort of people. So they were found in the end.
They were
But yeah,
definitely looking for the cocaine that supplied the cocaine bear.
cocaine.
And then they found Tom Brady shirts instead.
That's it. A fun fact nonetheless. Andy, sticking with you, 0.5 on the podcast is the 10-point podcast quiz.
Right. This one is called 80 for quizzes.
For quizzes. Are we getting 80 questions?
Yes. Who wants to go first? We'll rattle through these.
Chris always
I think
remembers
it's
his
me.
turns. Right, Chris to go first.
Right. Let's start off with, you'll get the gist of this. Chris, which material is an 80th wedding anniversary celebrated with?
Is it platinum?
No. Bruce.
No, it's not that. Not platinum. Is it? Oh, is it gold?
No. It was oak.
Oh.
Oak.
Aye.
I thought wood was quite low down.
Yeah.
Oh, oak tree. Big old, isn't it?
Oh.
Right, Bruce.
Mhm.
Mathematical question for you. No, it's not actually. It's a knowledge question, sorry.
Okay.
How long did the 80-year war last?
Right. I'll walk straight into it and I'll say 80 years.
Wrong.
Yes. Okay.
Chris?
40 years, I don't know.
No, it was 81 years, 5 months, 4 weeks, and 1 day.
I thought it was like something. I felt like 80 years.
This stat
like a
doesn't
good-
make sense because I thought there was 4 weeks in a month, so technically like 6 months, 1 day.
Yeah. A nice trick question for me to start on there.
Right. Chris, a video game question. EA delisted which Battlefield game?
I can't remember what it's called. 8? I don't know. Battlefield 8? It's Battlefield 23. Fucking knows.
No. Bruce, could you work it out?
Well, I was going to say Battlefield 80 or Battlefield 1980s or something like that.
It was Battlefield 1943, which was 80 years ago.
Ah,
see what I did there?
nice.
Very smart.
There you go. You can work these out. Just use your knowledge. Think of what this quiz is about. Bruce, which 1983 movie won Best Picture in the 1944 Academy Awards?
What?
What?
The
What
film came
year?
out in 1943, won
Right.
Best Picture, but it was the Academy Awards was the year after, as you know about the Oscars.
So, what is it? The 40s or the 80s? I'm confused here.
43 and
43.
44.
There were Oscars
You said
during the Second
83.
World War.
Nah,
Is that
I
what
didn't.
you're
1943 movie won Best Pictures.
telling? It's just gonna be a film from the 80s, and I'm gonna get screwed over.
No, there's
here.
nothing from the 80s.
Right. Okay.
It's because it's 1943, which was 80 years ago.
Right. Okay. Yes. Okay.
So it's not from the 80s.
Not from the 80s. There was Academy Awards in the middle of the Second World War. Gone with the Wind. It's not from that long.
No, Chris.
I know. It's something with Charlie Chaplin in it.
It was Casablanca.
Another one. God damn it.
Chris, this is a mathematical question for you.
Fucking serious.
How many months are there in 80 years?
That's my tight one here because it will eventually get there.
One. You get three seconds. One,
I'm gonna say
2,
300.
Three.
It's too quick.
no, there's not 300 months. Bruce, one,
I should have been counting when he was doing that.
2,
I'm going to say 1,000.
close, but no, it's 960.
Oh, that wasn't far away.
I don't know what
Bruce.
you're counting to, so I panicked. I thought you were going to stop at 5. You said like 10. I was like, okay.
Bruce. The 46th president of the United States just turned 80. Who is he?
46 just turned 80. Is that George W. Bush?
No, Chris.
Joe Biden?
It's Joe Biden.
Oh, it's more obvious than that, is it?
Yes.
That's the first point on the board, by the way.
That's the second one. I got one at the start.
What did you get at the start?
What was the first question?
No, he didn't. No, that is the first point on the board. Chris.
Oh yeah, carry on. You didn't get one right, honestly.
Sure.
Which Iranian wrestler recently turned 80?
Iranian?
I think I know.
I thought he died. I was going to say Iron Sheik.
It is the Iron Sheik.
I thought he died.
No, he's still alive. Still on Twitter.
As far as I'm always aware, is he?
Oh.
Either way, he was born 8 years ago.
Oh,
Aye.
sweet. Cool.
Bruce, you've got a mathematical question now.
Mm-hmm.
80 dog years is equivalent to how many human years for a small breed dog?
11.
No, Chris.
12.
No, it was 16.
Oh.
Damn it.
Chris, to the nearest meter, how long would 80-foot-long Subway sandwiches be?
12 meters. I don't know.
It's not 12 meters. Bruce.
I was throwing numbers now.
242 meters.
Nope, it was 24 meters.
Oh, I was the far.
I would be a decimal point in the wrong place.
What's the scores?
2-0 to Chris.
I'll just do one more bonus question each. Who are we going? Bruce. No,
Me
Chris. Bruce.
Me first. Me and there's an odd number of
Bruce.
questions. You go back to Chris again, but carry on.
If he was still alive, which Serbian American inventor would be celebrating his 80th birthday?
I wish I'd researched 1943. No one. Because, of course, when I look at this, I think 1943. Serbian American.
He was in a
Nikola
movie.
Tesla.
Yes, it is Nikola Tesla. There you go. Point on the board. And Chris. Face. Right, Chris. Final question, just to secure your win.
Or if he gets it wrong, I draw.
Is it?
Yeah, he's only winning by 1 at this point.
Oh yeah.
Well, I should
And-
have
Oh,
yeah,
the
you
last
get through over.
question.
And
Oh,
this
yes,
is an extra
yes,
question, as in he's
yeah.
now had 10 and I had 9 or something like
All
that.
right, whatever. I've got
I'll
one more
stop it
question
here,
on the
stop.
board.
Fair enough.
He's not going to get it. In what year will Tom Brady turn 80?
Wait, how old is he now? I'm going to say 2063.
No, Bruce.
2062?
No, it's 2057.
Ah.
I thought he just turned 40.
What
There
was
you
the
go.
first question? I swear I thought I got the first one
You did
right.
get the
It was
first one right.
simple.
Definitely not.
The first one was which material was an 80th wedding anniversary?
Oh, okay,
26
okay,
Platinum.
that's fine. Crack on.
You still won.
You still
Won.
won. It's fucking
Yeah.
hell.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, Chris wins again. I think I'm on a terrible streak this season. I think I've barely won one. I did win
Oh,
last.
what you've got
see
to-
what
what you've got to do.
happens when it's not fixed.
See what
It's
you've
never
got to
been
do.
fixed.
You've got to think of what Andrew will do a quiz on that's loosely based on the film.
I was very
And
much.
do your research.
I was
thought you were
keeping
gonna be
track of
Superbowls.
everything. Yeah, I was like 28-3, 4 touchdowns, all this sort of stuff. I was all over it. Excuse me. Right, point 6 on the podcast. Movies within movies. Chris, you are the keeper of the 10-point podcast universe. Tell us who we've done before on the podcast.
I don't remember it being in anything, but apparently Retta, who was at the poker game, she was in Fracture as an evidence room cop.
I did not even find her on my list. Never mind, remember her. So.
She was one that's also in Parks and Recreations, I think. Is it Peyton Oswald, who was Brisket in the film?
Patton, I think.
I like to say Patton.
Okay, Patton Oswald. He
I
was
think
in Bleed Pretty.
Yes, he was.
It's Hedges. That's it, I think.
Oh, absolutely not. No.
What's he been in?
Right, from bottom to top. Andy Richter, the guy who owns.
Oh,
the
no,
street.
that right.
Oh, I think that
Right.
was it for the people who were in
Oh,
the
yeah, I
film.
thought that was it, yeah.
Oh, right, no, right, okay.
Semi-pro was Bobby D. Glenn Turman was in Gremlins.
Do you know what?
Bob Corduroy. who-
Glenn Truman is his name. he was the professor guy in Gremlins, so he was the one that took the gremlin and put him into the lab and all. So he's actually
That's what I
quite a
said.
big.
He was in Gremlins.
You just said he was in Gremlins. You're giving me details
he
of who
is.
everybody is.
Oh,
and
fine,
then-
Roy Hansen. I was rattling through them because I thought you would try to jump.
Oh, no.
Anyway, Rob Corddry, who I think should be in the Hall of Fame because he's been in quite a few films now. He was in Old School as Warren, Semi-Pro as Kyle, and Office Christmas Party as Jeremy.
It's his fourth appearance, but I think he must total about 30 minutes on screen in his 4 appearances. Like, he's barely in. I think Office Christmas Party might be his biggest role. Oh no, he's in Semi-Pro quite a bit, but we hated him in that. So
Aye. And obviously Satterfield was in Forrest Gump.
she was. Sorry, Chris. I thought you'd said that's it.
No, but that's
I know, I
it.
thought it was like,
Pat Oswald, and that's the Blade Trinity thing. I think that's it for him. And you were like, oh, fucking hell.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's 6 people that have been in. There were 7 people had before. Thank you, Chris. Well done. Have you recast us into the film, not as the podcast guys?
I did, yeah. Andy is without a doubt Lou. Like, it's always your house you go to watch things. Like, I always remember the WrestleMania was the first thing we had. Us and I think it was Sean as well.
Aye. Graham.
Bruce, you're Betty, like the stat master for football
Right. Okay.
and American football stuff. I'm Mora. I'm there for a good time. You know.
I
Fall
had you as
asleep
Mora
everywhere.
as well. I don't know what it is. Something about I didn't know. I thought you might be a poker guy, so I thought you might be that might be where you.
I got my
Yeah.
fucking Mongol.
Right.
Play poker with
Maybe that's what the connection was. I had Andy as Betty because of the hot wing eating competition. I could see him doing that, and I felt like Lou most wanted to go to the game. I thought that's probably what I would be. You know, I'd really want to go to this game the most, so I felt like that might have been the role I was. But yeah, really was.
I can see you walking and going, actually, this is such and such
Yeah.
as 200th pass of the game or something.
That is something I definitely do. In fact, do. Never mind, would do. Okay, the usual questions that I ask about every single movie. Could this film have come out in 1995? Well, obviously no. But what it would have been back then, it would have been about The Comeback with capital letters, titled The Comeback, which was the one that was mentioned in the film when the Buffalo Bills came back from 32 points behind in 1993. However, that was the first round of the playoffs. It wasn't the Super Bowl. So it wouldn't be a big finale like that. And also the other problem is that the Tom Brady of the Bills was the quarterback. Jim Kelly, who was like a Hall of Famer for them, he was injured and didn't play in that game. It was the backup quarterback. So it would have been a horrible experience if the 80 for Kelly quartet had gotten to this game and he wasn't even playing in it. So, but yeah, it would have to be about that game. It would work timeline-wise a couple of years beforehand, but a much less interesting game. And I don't think they won the Super Bowl that year either. So a much worse story. Dead Man Walking. Well, I didn't think any of the 4 were going to die. I thought we would safely get through, but I knew the Falcons were a dead man walking. I knew what happened in this game, so they were done wrong. Who's in the wrong movie? It's always a good sign if we get to this question and we've not mentioned the person. Bob Balaban as Sally Field's husband.
Yeah.
Why is he in this?
Yeah.
Cookie old man, isn't he?
For no reason. Doesn't really add anything to the movie at all. It's like so weird that he's in it. So Bob Balaban. And tropes. What trope would we like to see to die? Well, normally I'd go the inevitable sports movie comeback win out of nowhere, but this actually happened in real life. So I would say it's all the kind of things that wouldn't happen. Like, stop forcing sports into movies and then doing it wrong. You couldn't do it like that. That wouldn't happen that way. Sports movies make me angry. What about you guys for your tropes?
Mine's is inept security guards.
Yeah.
Or inept, whatever the word is.
Inept is the word.
It just annoys the shit out of me because there's so many films that's just like, it could have been easily avoided with just security guards just doing their fucking job.
Yeah, you have one thing to do: stop people coming in who shouldn't.
Yep.
They always fail at it.
Yep.
Chris.
Mine's is when a fan meets your idol but has no idea it's them. Like they were filmed like at the what's she called? Jane Fonda, or whatever she's called.
Mhm.
She was like, sign this book, and she's like, you can't do that. You have to buy that. And she's like,
that
this is
thing.
my book. And she's like,
Right. Okay.
But it was a pseudonym. You
yeah.
might have not put her picture down.
what?
I suppose. Yeah.
In these days, you fucking take a picture, you Google it, who you Virginia, or whatever her name is.
Yeah. With her not being a famous writer, she would be famous with. If she was that famous that, like, they'd have her tell this erotic story at the Super Bowl. By the way, that's something we didn't mention.
Yeah.
That she read this, and then Gronk has it. She's famous enough that she'd be on like Loose Women and all this sort of stuff. Like she'd be. She'd be on.
That's what you did.
Is that us for our tropes then? On to point 7. Point 7 is that one thing. The one thing this movie has that basically the meaning of its life. Andy, what's your one thing for 80 for Brady?
I would say like a factual sports film, like kind of what you said. Like they actually use proper footage. It's not like recreated. It's not recast. It's a factual thing. That's what
Actually,
happened.
Yeah, that's good.
Hmm.
I've gone on not a similar vein, but this is that Tom Brady movie. Like for me, this will be that's the film that Tom Brady was in, and basically, I'm assuming he funded if he produced it and all. It's the Tom Brady film for me. What about you, Chris?
I put the same, like it actually had Tom Brady in it. This is all about Tom Brady.
Tom Brady movie, not the Brady Bunch movie, but the Tom Brady movie. Right. Point 8 on the podcast. Our nominations for the 10-Point Podcast Awards. Chris leads off. We argue with him. I'm not going to be arguing with you too much, I don't think, Chris.
Oh, I was going to say, I think you're going to have to fill in a few gaps here because.
You don't know some awards.
No, I'm starting my best team. I'm not my favourite team, obviously, but the Patriots were the best team.
The best team were the Patriots, definitely.
Yeah.
Or at least, well, that'd be at least 20 minutes. They were the best team anyway.
A bit harsh, but the biggest bellend was probably Chip, the security guard.
No, he wasn't.
A bellend for doing his job, but
not having that. Lou is the biggest bellend because they didn't win the
Going
contest.
there with fake tickets.
Yeah, we've got.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you didn't know they were fake tickets, but they're also being a bit of a bellend, buying them from a not real website in the first place.
That's the first thing. If Chris Chris turned around and said, "Right, we're going to WrestleMania," I'm like, "All right, where'd you get tickets from?" eBay. And I'm like, "Are they real?" It's the first question I'm asking because
how much?
I know more savvy than Lou that actually check for holograms and stuff.
Yeah.
What's wrong with the he signed it. I was like, that looks like a hologram to me. The light bounces off of it. It's like the light's bouncing off of it. What's wrong with it? It's like he didn't do a good job of describing what was wrong with it.
My best inanimate object was Lou's little mini football that she carried around with her.
Fair enough. Okay. Yeah.
Best twist. The tickets were fake.
Nah. Best twist was Lou was the person who inspired the comeback from 28.
Yeah, actually, because I wonder if that actually happened in real life. Because this is based on a true story. Maybe the old folks broke in and did it.
No, it didn't.
No,
I'm sorry, it didn't. The true story is the Brady fan group of 5 ladies in their 80s existed, and I think one of them, their relative, was a scriptwriter, and they wrote a movie basically on them, as in this thing exists. A bunch of 80-year-olds who love Tom Brady. I'm going to write a movie about it.
Okay.
So I don't even think they went to the Super Bowl. Like it wasn't even that. Yeah, they just existed.
I'll tell you what. I reckon did the motivation. Phil Parkinson. I reckon he is.
Yeah.
I reckon locker room talk. Giving us
Tom Brady does his own one, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
He did,
worst twist, Betty losing tickets and saw it coming a mile away.
Yeah.
I didn't see it coming a while away, but I'll let you have it. I don't have a better answer for worst twist.
Best cameo, Patton Oswalt.
I thought Gronk. I thought he was funny. I wanted more of him.
I was expecting it. Patton Oswalt doesn't make any sense in this film unless he likes things. So I'm kind of going to side with Chris on that one.
I had Gronk for most underused, though.
Yes, I would give you that.
He has a lot of charisma. He's really mental.
Yeah.
He has one line, and he was on camera for about 3 seconds. So, they could have done way more with Gronk. I doubt he's basically because he has retired, so he didn't even play it. He was like WWE 24/7 champion for a month.
Yeah.
Going on your thing, I'm going to say best cop is Chip then.
Yep. I've got that.
I had that blank there. Best song and soundtrack is The Warrior Scandal featuring Patti Smith.
If you say so.
I don't even know what song that is.
There were some okay songs.
When they're walking up the steps, it's playing I Am the Warrior.
Ah, right, okay. Okay, yeah. Yeah, none of them jumped out at me as being
Yeah.
that. There was one song that jumped out at me, but to me, that's a different film, and I want to save it for that. So
Okay. Worst costume is a half and half sports shirt.
Okay.
Horrendous.
Yeah.
I like that. I'd say worst one is the bejazzled ones.
They only work the half and half if you are a parent of someone on both teams. That's the only time they're allowed for a half and half shirt. Surname will be the same as well.
Yeah. Best product placement NFL.
Nope.
That's the obvious answer. We'll save that till we go into Andy. Unless you want, we'll do it now. Andy, do you have a better one? Because I've definitely got one.
Mine was Microsoft.
No, see.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because it was there entirely too long because it was like this, and it was just there, and it was just it was half the screen, and it was such a long scene of just the Microsoft logo.
Now that is a good one, and it did jump out at me, and that's actually what it is like in NFL. Like they do hold literally those Microsoft Surfaces, and it's always on screen. But the one that really jumped out to me is Silver Sport wheelchairs. Now I don't know a brand of a wheelchair. Like I thought, but when the wheel, what's her face out of the the camera starts on like the brand, like zoomed right in on the branding. Silver Sport 2 or something like that, it says, as it's kind of going round on the wheel, and then the camera pans out as if we need a wheelchair. Oh, we'll get this company a fund and we'll have their wheelchair in it. So yeah, for me that was it. But we'll go, if you want a different one, Andy, it's your award. You can
I must
have.
have blanked it that bit.
But yeah,
Yeah.
it was like the whole screen was filled up with Silver Sport 2. I was like, is that the brand of wheelchair? Because that seems like it was.
Yeah, for me, there was a lot of branding on this, but yeah, that, especially when it was the pivotal moment of the film, and it's just Microsoft logo right there.
On the NFL front, at one point, one of the characters very wordily said, "We have to go back to the NFL experience," and I was like, "You would just say like a different. We have to go back. We have to go back to there. Like to fit the whole brand name in. Sound really, really forced as well. But the NFL's all over this. Like it's a full publicity thing for the NFL as well."
I've got one more. I've only just thought about it now. Is the best what the fuck moment. It's that catch where it's just like about to bounce on the thing, and he just catches it.
Yeah,
that was like what the? How the fuck did he catch that? So
that was really good.
There we go. That's me.
I'll reiterate my best line of "Oh, it's you." I was expecting someone else.
Oh, I was going to say my best line was "fucking do it" because out of nowhere he just drops an F-bomb.
The only F-bomb in the film. Best set. I think it really felt like they were at the Super Bowl. Like it really worked well. Like I felt in not only in a stadium but in the stadium that was going on. So them matching that was really good. Done best team. Danny John Jules, most unexpected. I didn't think the player Danny Amendola was going to be in it, and he had he had more screen time and lines.
What do you say?
So Danny Amendola, I didn't think he was down my list of people I thought would be in it. Gronk was underused. Stupidest character is the bad security guard, letting 4 people into the game without tickets because they were surprisingly good dancers. It wasn't that they were good; it was that was better than I thought it was going to be. Oh, you can go in. The worst plan is I'll lie to my friends and buy tickets and mortgage everything and all this stuff.
Yeah.
That was the worst plan for me. That's it. I've run out now. So on to point 9. Moral of the story. What lesson was the film supposed to teach us? Something we've not touched on yet is my moral story. So I'll do it now. Gambling pays off. Is what the moral story is, because they had a lot of problems built up by the end of this film. And it's all settled because they had a bet on the Super Bowl. And it's, not only can they pay off everything, we can go on holiday and hang out with Tom Brady on a beach somewhere. So gambling pays off is the moral story. Andy, what's your moral story?
Just buy genuine tickets.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, pay for the real deal. Yep. And Chris, what's yours?
I had take sleep seriously because they made a point of pointing to the sign of take sleep seriously. I was going to change it for getting old doesn't have to be depressing, but I'll stick with take sleep seriously.
Take sleep seriously.
Action.
10 points on the podcast. It's the 10-point rating. Where we rate this film out of 10? I've gone alphabetically, so Andy, you're first.
I thought I'd go into this film hating it. No, I like Grace and Frankie. It's not quite Grace and Frankie. It's not quite funny enough. But it's not awful either. I thought I was going to be like, oh my god, this is so fucking shit. I quite enjoyed it, but nothing special, so it just gets a 5.
5 from Andy. My little thing I've written for this one is it feels like a joke movie that exists inside a better comedy. As in, it'll just cut to all the way through a better film. There's this old ladies win the Super Bowl for Tom Brady film, and it cuts back, and it's just a weird joke coming on, and Tom Brady's sitting, the old ladies trying to, it feels like it should just be a joke that these old ladies helped Tom Brady win the Super Bowl. It's designed very specifically for, like as mentioned, old people. You're not too young to do things, and it's totally. It is this film itself is a sense of humor that I don't have. It's not my sense of humor. This film, it's designed to be really light comedy and like, oh, look at that old lady doing that thing an old lady wouldn't do over and over and over again. And it's like, oh, now they're taking drugs. Oh, now they're on the street. Oh, now they're at a tailgate. Now they're trying to break that law. Now they're trying to break that rule. And it's like, oh, look at those getting away with it because they're old ladies. So it's a bit dull. It's not that great, to be honest.
I thought you'd be jizzing all over the NFL stuff.
Oh, the NFL stuff's good, but it's like just watch an NFL game or watch the actual NFL films version of the game. So I guess a 3 from me, but there's nothing wrong with it. Like, it's not bad. There's worse films we've done.
You used to old people.
Yeah, just, get rid of them. Take them out back when they keep shitting themselves, or what was he say? Chris, what's yours?
I'm siding with Bruce here. I generally thought it was a bit shit. Like, I'd rather watch like the worst Super Bowl game ever again instead of watching this again. Ironically, Patriots versus Rams is the one that jumps out at me.
Right. Okay.
It's just like it's like a classic feel good movie, but it's not my kind of thing. I'll agree. I liked it when they got to the NFL experience. I liked that kind of bit, and I liked the actual NFL game, all that footage. But yeah, it's I guess a generous 3 from me.
3 from Chris.
I reckon we need to review this when we're all 80 again. See if our ratings change.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll be living it. We'll be getting to fucking WrestleMania 70 or something back then.
So that's an official rating of a 4 for 80 for Brady. So 4 for
I
me.
think that's fair.
I think it's fair. Yeah, but I might have given it a 4 on a kind of if I was a really good day, really enjoying myself and in a good mood.
Watching it when it wasn't feeling well was a bad idea.
Right, yeah.
I just respect old people acting. I feel like they could carry a film.
I mean, I've not criticised anyone's acting.
No.
Like, they all played their characters. Although now you've
I
mentioned,
couldn't nominate a best one because they all kind of do the same thing.
all 4 of them are acting 10 out of. They're all not 10 out of. They're all at 100 out of 100.
Yeah.
All of them. Like they're never. No one is understated or underacting at any point out of the 4 of them. They're really going for it. So it's a bit harsh. So that's the wheel. The wheel always picks a theme by accident. Beast and 80 for Brady. I'm guessing trips.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say Trips in a Lifetime.
Yeah, trips. in life.
Trips works, yeah.
So we'll see if that continues.
I was going to say animals.
What's the animal in this one?
I was going to say he's a cougar, but I don't know what the older version of a cougar is.
Big cats. That's the
It's a big cat.
Okay, but next time on the podcast, it is Andy's turn to select a film. Andy, I forget what you picked last time. You've done The Human Race, and
Yes.
you did
Ringer.
The Ringer. Okay, another sports film. So let's see if Andy continues on.
Right, so there was going to be a film I was definitely 100% going to pick, but I've not seen it yet, so I don't know if it fits into my theme. I can't gamble it.
Right.
However, this one does fit in my theme. We're going a little bit older because we've been fairly modern recently. Going almost back to my favourite year, +2. So it's 1997. It's a massively underrated film, which I reckon Bruce has probably never seen.
Right. Okay.
It's a film I've been wanting to do since season 1 of the podcast, so it kind of fits Chris's theme of unfinished business. And it's a film that I have mentioned about 1,000,001 times to Bruce, and he probably hasn't even remembered.
Probably not.
But it's Cube.
No, I remember
I watched
Cube.
that recently.
Yep. I've still never seen it,
There we
but
go.
it pops up on things. It's on like a million watch lists I have because you recommended it to me.
It's literally a film I've been like the only reason I'm picking it is because 1, it fits my theme, and 2, I've been wanting to watch it in a while.
Yeah. No, I can verify this. Basically, the genesis of the podcast, Andy was talking about this film.
This was it. This was one of my things. I was like, what started this podcast was I found that Bruce didn't watch any kind of film,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Have you seen the Cube?" He's like, "What?" I was like, "Cube." He's like, "The Cube." And I was like, "No, just Cube,
Is
not
it like
the ITV
Sphere?
show." Yeah.
Okay, there you go then. 1997's Cube, just Cube, not the Cube, not the
Just
TV
Cube.
show. Philip Schofield. Is that the Cube?
Nope.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
Just Cube. So have a look for that, get that watched, and we'll see you next time on the 10 Point Podcast.